Welcome on back to Skippers. Today we are going to do the best fantasy baseball picks. You guys actually liked the video last week of what are some of the worst picks, but hopefully if you have some of these guys on your roster from this list, you are doing a lot better than the video that we saw last week. Video, once again, brought to you by So Rare MLB. Subscribe. Don't forget to join the Discord. Now let's get into players at each position. Start off here at the catcher position. We are going to go to Sean Murphy from the Atlanta Braves. So far this season, Sean Murphy is hitting .281, 12 home runs, 42 runs batted in, and an OPS of 920. Sean Murphy was going at an ADP of 180. I believe he was the 10th or 11th catcher off the board. Again, goes in the deal from Oakland to Atlanta. I don't know why we were off on Sean Murphy, who had shown some good signs at the plate at one of the worst parks to hit in all of baseball. But again, they used Travis d'Arnaud like the first series of the season. I told you guys Travis d'Arnaud was must-add because they were hitting him in the 4-hole. He was catching all the time. It was weird. Thank God he kind of got hurt because Sean Murphy just busted up the ranks after that. Top 10% of the league in expected batting average, expected slug, WOBA, expected damage, barrel rate, and a weighted runs created plus of 148. Sean Murphy, great pick for you, and you're reaping the rewards if you took him as your catcher, an ADP of around 180. Now let's move on to first base. Yandy Diaz of the Rays is my pick as the best pick for first baseman. So far this year, he's hitting .302, 12 home runs, 34 runs batted in, and an OPS of 926. His ADP, I'm going off of what Yahoo ADPs were. It was 228 for Yandy Diaz at the start of this season. Right now, he has a weighted runs created plus of 164. For Yandy Diaz, it was okay. He always had the contact. That wasn't something new that's shown up. So this average is kind of on par as to what he can do at the top end of it. But it was the home runs. I believe his career high before was 12 home runs over a full season, and we've got that before the All-Star break. He's hitting at the middle or top of this Rays lineup, where he can just create a ton of runs. He's a very valuable player, and the weighted runs created plus of 164 tells you that about Yandy Diaz. He is one of the more consistent players, too. We've seen this average around 302 kind of the whole season as well. So Yandy Diaz, one of the best picks. Someone, again, most of your leagues you wouldn't draft, but he was on must-add pretty early. That's why you want to pick up guys like that, especially early on, because they can show that they have long-term success for your fantasy baseball teams. Yandy Diaz, the best pick at first base. We head on over to second base, and my pick is Luis Urias of the Marlins. Again, he's a player with multiple eligibilities, but I'm putting him in this second base slot. So far this season, his average is .382. He has 1 home run, 30 runs batted in, a stolen base, and an OPS of 897. Obviously, the power isn't there a lot, so the slug isn't that much, but his on-base percentage is absolutely through the roof. He had an ADP of 194, part of the Pablo Lopez trade, and I bet the Twins would kind of like to have Luis Urias back at this point. His weighted runs created plus so far this point of the season is 148. Again, he's not hitting for a ton of power, so that'll stop him from doing that, but he is getting on base at an insanely high rate, a 382 average. The fact that he was pushing 400 this deep into the season is crazy impressive from Luis Urias. We saw him again average last year. That is one of his best skills. The fact he's been able to up this to this point has been crazy for Luis Urias. We showed zone contact. We talked about guys who could potentially be leaders in every category. I went away from Luis Urias and I went to Steven Kwan as someone who's shown similar qualities, but Luis Urias has showed those qualities last year and has improved on them immensely again. Just the zone contact is out of control for Luis Urias, and that is why he is my pick as the best pick for second base. Move across the diamond, we'll go to the third base position, and I am picking Josh Young of the Rangers as the best pick at third base. So far this season, he's hitting .284, 13 home runs, 40 runs batted in, and an OPS of 838. His ADP preseason was 224. Right now, he is running a weighted runs created plus of 131. Josh Young very well should be an all-star. If he's not going to start, I think he should absolutely be on the bench. He's part of this Texas Rangers team that's really just been there to shine offensively so far this season, and he's going to hit in the middle of that as well. As a guy super young as well, rookie of the year contention, Josh Young has been great for this Rangers team. And again, if you were picking him as to, hey, is he going to make the team? I think we thought that he was going to make it, and he's done that, and he's absolutely raking at the plate. So for right now, I think Josh Young is by far the best pick at that value at third base. We go to the sixth slot, and Zach Neto of the Angels is my pick at shortstop. I thought shortstop was actually one of the harder ones to find where there was a lot of value. It seems like some of the better shortstops, like Bo Bichette-esque, have rose to the top of the shortstop ranks, but I'll pick Zach Neto as my guy. So far this season, Zach Neto hitting .259, 6 home runs, 22 runs batted in, 5 stolen bases, and an OPS around 770. So an ADP of 957. He was obviously on the must-add when he got called up. Right now he's running a weighted runs created plus of 113. Zach Neto's turned into a solid major league shortstop, again, with some good offensive numbers. The average kind of tough to start, but now he's starting to figure out his way at the big league level. Zach Neto, the best fantasy baseball pick. I mean, you don't get much better value than that at an ADP of 957, but the best fantasy baseball pick at shortstop. We are back on So Rare MLB, the best way to play a nice little alternative with fantasy baseball for free. Now we are going to go into the private contest. We have created one. I'll have the link in the bio. I'll have the link in the comments as well. You're going to get to play against me for a game week. It's going to run from the Mondays to the Thursdays. The link will be there ready for you guys to enter into the contest. And the winner of this contest will get a free subscription for the rest of the year for MLB TV. Who doesn't like MLB TV? Being able to watch all of the games. You take your cards, we'll play for a single game week, and whoever wins a free subscription to MLB TV. Don't think there's a better way to play for free. Take your players, put them up against me. You'll see how I do. My private contest. Play against me on So Rare MLB, and we'll see how you guys stack up. So now we head to the outfield. I grouped all the outfield positions together, so not left, center, right. Thought it was easier that way. So I'll go 3 different outfielders who I thought were some of the best picks. Jack Suwinski, the first one of the Pirates. He's hitting .253. He has 15 home runs, 35 runs batted in, and 6 stolen bases, and an OPS of 924. The slug has been off the charts for Jack Suwinski. He absolutely crushes right-handed pitching, and his ADP in the preseason was 476. He's running a weighted runs created plus of 146 right now. And I'm pretty sure he went out last night against the Cubs and hit 2 more home runs. So Jack Suwinski's been a really, really solid either early pickup when he was on must-add, or if you were in one of those deeper leagues, one of those high-tiered leagues, high buy-in leagues, then he's an awesome pick for you. Jack Suwinski of the Pirates. We go back to the Texas Rangers for my next outfielder, and that is Leody Tavares of the Rangers, the switch hitter. He's hitting .301. He has 5 home runs, 26 runs batted in, 6 bags, and an OPS of 825. His preseason ADP was 517. His weighted runs created plus right now sits at 130. Again, super high average guy, and that helps for when they turn over the lineup, this Rangers team, when they have all their dogs at the top. Leody Tavares is on base for them to go, and him being a great contact, being able to get on base this much at the kind of the bottom of this Rangers lineup is super important. So I think Leody Tavares has been a great pick. Someone who flashes a big prospect, struggled a little bit in his first stint in the big leagues, and he's back doing some big things for the Texas Rangers. And finally, the last one, Bryan De La Cruz of the Marlins. He's hitting .285, 8 home runs, 35 runs batted in, 3 stolen bases, and an OPS of 784. The ADP for Bryan De La Cruz preseason was 446, running a weighted runs created plus of 115. I look at these numbers, and they seem awfully similar to that of Vladimir Guerrero Jr. So you're getting Vladimir Guerrero Jr. production from an outfielder that you're taking at an ADP of 446. I think that's going to be a pretty good pick for you. So Bryan De La Cruz, happy to see him do some big things for this Marlins team, who's again kind of figured it out here as of late. So I like that. That is a very good pick if you were taking any of these guys. And again, a lot of you aren't taking these picks, and I get some talk like, hey, let's do some deeper league stuff. This is kind of for the deeper league and like guys in the NFBC, the bigger tournaments as well. And finally, the last one for the pitcher position, I'll pat myself on the back for this one. It could have been a bunch of guys, but I think this is one I told you guys should be drafting. Eduardo Rodriguez of the Tigers. So far this season, 4-4, a 2.13 ERA. He's pitched 67 2/3. He has 67 strikeouts, and his WHIP is below 1 at .98. Eduardo Rodriguez had an ADP of 391 preseason. I kind of outlined for you guys before the season started why I was picking Eduardo Rodriguez to bounce back. He had so many things go wrong the season before, a COVID issue. He had to leave the team a bit, and it was just not the right situation. Eduardo Rodriguez signed a big contract. He's a professional. He's going to want to make good on that contract, and that's exactly what he's done for a Tigers team that has struggled the starting pitching category. Eduardo Rodriguez has been what they signed him for and why they signed him. So I think Eduardo, I can't even say that, Rodriguez has been the best fantasy baseball pick at the pitcher position. Thank you guys once again for tuning in. I'll be back with another video later this week. Don't forget to subscribe, join the Discord. Thank you to props.cash, and I will see you guys later.